The number one mistake men make that destroys attraction. If you want to find the right girlfriend or wife, you have to understand this concept. If you don't understand and embody the following concept, women will keep losing interest in you. You will keep feeling exhausted by the end of social interactions, and you will never find the right one. The concept is called radical honesty and layers. You have piled layers and layers of fakeness upon yourself over the last 30, 40, 50 years of your existence. You are inherently not fake. You are not a dishonest person, but you have patterns of pleasing, agreeing when you don't fully feel like agreeing, of being politically correct, of being professional, and they are all a competence in a given context. Being professional, being a little bit PC in the work environment, whether you're a business owner or you're a manager, that is required, because in your work environment, you're not there to share your politically incorrect opinions. You're there to be a productive member of that particular mini society. The problem is when you're on a date with a woman who goes on a bunch of dates with other men whose BS radar is very well tuned, and you then show your fake self, you're not radically honest, you're trying to please, she will lose respect for you instantaneously, because she unconsciously immediately concludes that you couldn't possibly be a man who has options available to himself, because if you had options available to yourself, why would you fake it? Why would you feel the need to portray yourself as someone that you truly aren't? There's nothing wrong with who you are at your core. You're just never showing it. Just be yourself is the best and worst piece of advice people were ever given. Be yourself is amazing, but you should say just. What does just actually mean? Radical honesty starts with saying what you actually think and peeling back layers of mindset problems and a desire to please and ultimately to be loved. You have to understand, again, it's not that there's something wrong with you, but you have been rewarded in a certain context for not being too edgy. Maybe you've seen other people who are a little bit free in their expression and you've judged them. The more you judge them, the more you'll judge and stop yourself from freely expressing yourself. If you want to find a woman who's truly compatible with who you are, you have to show what you truly are, your values. You actually have to speak it. You are so careful, and careful is not the same thing as being respectful. You want to be respectful. You want to be calibrated. You want to be kind and loving and positive, and all of that is great. But you don't even realize how many layers you have in front of your real self. It takes some time to peel it back. But the more you commit yourself to peeling back those layers, the more you'll find it easy to show up in this world as the truest version of yourself, as the most masculine version of yourself. And part of the reason you feel tired after social interactions is because you're putting on a persona. You're not letting out what's truly inside. And little story from my own life. I've been making videos now for around 10 years. 10 years ago, I started with self-defense videos. Then they went into self-help, personal development. And then for 5-6 years now, I've been doing dating and relationship coaching. Over my journey of creating content, I've tried out a lot of different ways of expressing myself because I wanted to find my voice. But I've given myself the freedom to try out different speaking styles until I arrived what is authentically me. And my speaking style resonates extremely well with some people, and some people are very turned off by it. Fantastic. I don't want anybody to become my client who doesn't truly resonate with my authentic style. I want to be like Moses parting the Red Sea. I want some people to really love it and some people to really hate it. The worst thing that can happen to me is that you watch a video and say, well, I have no opinion towards it. I would want you to see this video and say, I really resonate with it, or it's not my style at all. This yelling, hyperactive ginger with his crooked teeth, no thank you. And there's a hinge of a German accent on top of that. What the hell is that? Either one I am perfectly fine with, because ultimately that's what I want for you. I want you to be on the date and express yourself so radically honestly, so unashamedly, so unapologetically, still respectful and kind, but free, that the woman in front of you, after an hour and a half, will either really like you or she won't like you at all. In which case, you'll simply shake her hand, you'll pay for her Uber home, and you'll never see her again, and you part ways in a respectful and friendly way. I have tried so many different ways of expressing myself. I've made thousands of short form videos, maybe now 1,000 long form videos over the years. We currently have around 350 videos on this YouTube channel. And before that, I made hundreds in German and hundreds more in English that we've taken down and that we've used for other purposes. And on top of that, coaching almost every single day for the last 5 years. So through that, I found my way. And I'm not saying that this way is the ultimate way and that I won't develop. You're always going to keep growing because you'll either grow or you'll deteriorate. Things don't stay the same. It'll be ever evolving. But I'm very comfortable with who I am and how I express myself, which also, by the way, varies from time to time. I mean, right now, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 2:56 a.m. Pretty high energy. But now, if I were to film this in an hour and my energy would be lower, then I wouldn't have an issue with having a calmer video. You've seen some of them as well. That is not any less authentic. It is an authentic expression in the moment, depending on how I feel and depending on what's required. When I'm working with a client or a group of clients or I'm teaching an in-person seminar, I feel what is required. And then I just allow myself to go with the flow because it's not about me. Before I shoot the video, I ask myself, what is the one core message that I want you to get across? That I want you to understand, pardon me. And then everything else comes from that. In this case, it's radical honesty. And that's what I want you to understand. So I allow myself to go with it. And I'm not so self-obsessed, by the way. That's another gold nugget. The more you focus on yourself, the more you are self-conscious, the more you'll become insecure. And the more you'll become unlovingly aware of your imperfections. But the more you turn your attention outward on the other person, the less obsessed you are with yourself, the less you'll suffer, the more confident you'll actually be. The more concerned you are with the connection and the fun and the freedom of expression and her experience of the date, and simply just being free and having fun and self-amusing, the less obsessed you are with yourself, the higher the probability that you'll build attraction in the moment. And remember, she needs to see that you're free in your expression, that you're carefree. Not carefree in the sense that you are not caring about her being treated well, but carefree in the sense of not caring whether you'll get any outcome from the date, be that the kiss or intimacy or relationship, because she has to know that you want her, but that you don't need her. So my speaking style has developed over the years a lot. Now, the good thing is when it comes to dating and relationships, it won't take you 10 years to find your voice. But it does take practice, and it always takes more volume than initially anticipated. So one of the most powerful exercises you can do to improve your communication skills, by the way, except for joining my coaching program, click the link underneath this video, because by the way, after Valentine's Day, we're going to drastically increase the price of the program. I mean, it'll still be awesome, even better probably, because we're always working on it, we're always improving it. But if you have a chance, apply, click the link below, apply for a free initial consultation. I would highly encourage you to do this right now or after the video. But other than that, film yourself for 10 minutes every single day, talking into a camera. You don't have to publish it, but just for yourself, freely associating, presenting, pretending you're on the date. How are you supposed to become a good communicator with women if you don't communicate? Bruce Lee supposedly said, and I couldn't find any evidence whatsoever that he actually said it, but supposedly he was asked, how do you learn to punch fast? And his response was, punch fast, which makes a lot of sense. If you want to become a good communicator, communicate well. And also you'll have to meet a lot of people. The problem with radical honesty is that you'll have more short-term conflict. You'll have to endure what you've tried to avoid at all costs so far, which is people not liking you. That's going to happen more. You will sacrifice width for depth. You will sacrifice the masses for the quality few. But let me tell you something. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Even though that's a half-truth, and obviously you can make the right people feel bad by not being mindful in your communication. If your values are truly aligned and you just express them radically honestly, the other person will like you more. If I were to tell you that I really like freedom of speech and any way of censorship, I'm thoroughly opposed to it. If you understand what I mean by that, you will like me more now as a result of me saying this. And if you happen to have different views, you'll get quite turned off by that. Great. In which case, I'd encourage you to stop watching this video if you're pro-censorship and if you don't like freedom of speech. See, that's a way to polarizingly communicate. I could become a lot more raw, but this is not about me. This is me simply demonstrating the principle so you can use it for yourself, because I want you to find somebody who has the same values as you. And keep in mind, compatibility regarding your personality does not mean the same. Fernando and I, we have very different personalities, but compatibility regarding your values does mean the same. And the number one factor, Tony Robbins says, for relationship success, the number one factor for relationship success is selection, compatibility. And yes, it does mean showing up as the right version of yourself, selecting yourself to be the right person. It does mean that too. But making sure you're aligned on your values and your personalities are compatible and she has genuine burning desire for you and there's a complete absence of red flags. Doesn't mean she's perfect, you're not perfect either. But no red flags or disqualifiers. And you get there by being radically honest and creating quality options for yourself. And it feels so good. It feels so awesome to freely express yourself in your own way. Not in my way, not in somebody else's way. In your way. Getting your style of speaking down feels so good. You'll become a better leader in your business, in your career, in your hobbies. You'll be much more impactful because the people around you, they don't just learn from you, including your children or unborn children, future children. They don't just learn from you by what you tell them. They model you. You are a role model for everyone around you. But to be truly influential, you can't be afraid of letting that out. That makes you, you. And most people won't like it, and that's fine. But the depth, that's what's going to create the ultimate happiness for you. Same with quality male friendships. You will lose some of the wrong friendships, guys who you might only have in your life because you drink alcohol or you laugh with them, but you can't really grow, work on your personal development, go to the gym together. Maybe they're not there for you in the hard times. Maybe they don't really want to see you win. Maybe they want to see you do well, but just not better than themselves. You will sacrifice, again, the width, the breadth, for depth. But in the depth, that's where all the joy is, having less relationships. And by the way, it's not a false dichotomy either. No, you can just get a lot of good ones also, by the way, okay? I'm going to talk about that in a second. But you have to be willing to let a couple of people go and get depth. Because if you're around quality male friends, you need more quality male friends, by the way, locally, that you see on a weekly basis. Your need for love and connection depends on it. Your happiness depends on it. The more you have those and you actually look forward to spending time with them because you are truly aligned, the more you'll feel at home in the world. And what matters more than feeling at home in the world? The way you feel at home in the world is you engage with the world in the most authentic, raw manner. And most people will say, I can respect them, not my cup of tea. Fine, but then the ones you find, the one woman you'll find, the quality male friends you'll find, the ones who'll stick with you, they are the ones who are right for you. And then you'll have a family around you. Not necessarily by blood, some maybe by blood, but most won't be. It doesn't mean that you need to greatly reduce the amount of people you have in your life right now. You should get a lot more. Go to gyms, join personal development groups. For example, in my coaching program, we connect people from all around the world, from all around the US, high performers, achievers, good, kind, warm-hearted, loving, intelligent men who are doing well. But it doesn't have to be my program. It can be other ones. Go to a Tony Robbins seminar, for example. Find quality men. But even just locally, go to the gym you're at. Pay a little bit more to go to a bit more of an expensive gym. Whatever thing you can afford right now, go to the gym. Ask dudes out for coffee. Say, hey, bro, let's work out one of these days. And then you can maybe have a sparring session, or you can go to rock climbing together. You can talk business together. You can go meet women together. You need to make a conscious effort to get more quality male friends in your life. I will keep hammering this idea of quality male friendships until I die. May that be the sword I die on, because the number one thing that controls your happiness is quality social contact. And you have to create it. Quality relationships won't just come to you, or at least far too few. Same with the right woman. It won't just happen. You have to assume the responsibility for making it happen. But once you do, and you authentically and freely and lovingly express yourself, the journey will become so enjoyable and you'll get the result so much faster. If you want me to help you with that personally, apply for a free call. Looking forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.